So I was thinking, maybe I'll get Botox soon. But then I thought, you know what a middle ground is? Rather than get Botox and put poison in my face, instead I'll get microneedling and burn it off. That seems like a better idea. And so I got it right, and I went so red. And before she showed me the mirror, the lady was like, okay, before I show you how you look, I'm just going to say, don't be alarmed. Nothing ever good happens after the sentence, don't be alarmed. But for some reason I was so confident about it. I really thought she was going to be like, don't be alarmed, but it has gone so well, you look so young that we are concerned that you're a paedophile risk. And we don't know if you should leave here, it's concerning. It's a bit worrying, actually. We are nervous. I don't know. Apparently now the average woman in America spends $15,000 in her lifetime on makeup. Like $15,000. Like what a waste, you know. Like you get 2 boob jobs for that. No one's looking at your face, are they? They're looking at your 6 boobs. 4 on the front, 2 on the back. Let's go. Yeah, pretty fun. But it affects everything. Hillary Clinton, when she was running to be president, her team apparently did a survey on what could make her more likeable, and it turned out what people were put off by was her face. So she had to spend an hour in hair and makeup every day, something the male candidates did not have to do. And I think it's kind of good she didn't become president, you know, because then she'd have had to spend an hour in hair and makeup every day, she'd have to be president. Like, how is she ever going to find the time to run her paedophile ring? It's a joke for all my QAnons out there. You think I don't got you, but something for everyone, you know, yeah. No, but Bill Clinton managed it. So it's possible, allegedly. Okay, don't get me, Bill. I went to the hairdressers when I was pregnant, and we were just chatting, and I had my phone, and she saw the screensaver on my phone. It said my husband, and she went, "Oh, is that your husband?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And she went, "Yeah, no, I can see the resemblance." What? I mean, this seems rude, I don't know. I was really nervous about giving birth. I was so nervous about it. I was convinced I was going to die in childbirth. And I spoke to a friend of mine, and she was having a baby around the same time. And she said, "Harriet, I was convinced I was going to die in childbirth too." And I was like, "That's mad." And she was like, "Yeah, did you have the chat with your husband?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah, I said to my husband, no matter what happens, don't worry about me, just save the baby. Don't worry about me, just save the baby." She was like, "Did you have that chat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had that chat, but it was different." I was like, let's aim for both, you know, because I spent a lot of money on therapy and that shouldn't go to waste. And I had given up a lot over 9 months. I shouldn't have to give up my life. I had given up soft cheese. It is a lot to ask, actually. And so the labour happened very quickly. So I knew that I was in labour, but no one believed me. And I think one of the reasons is that my waters didn't break, and so the baby came out in the amniotic sac, like in the cowl, but we didn't know that at the time. So she just looked like an alien splodge. And so the midwife said to my husband, "Oh, do you want to go and have a look at the head?" And so he went to go and have a look, and I went, "Oh, what does she look like?" And he went, "Don't worry about it, we'll see." I was like, "What do you mean, we'll see?" And he was like, "Let's just get it out and then we'll deal with it." Fucking hell. I was like, I didn't think our future would emerge well, but I think we're creating an alternate life force. Like, what is happening? And I wanted one of those nice photos after I gave birth. You know, like you see on Instagram, like they give birth, they look so fresh, you know. And I was thinking, that's what I want, but I'm going to have to cheat the system. So I was like, as soon as I got into labour, I had a shower. But then the problem is, my labour happened so quickly, I didn't have time to dry or brush my hair. So my hair looked wild. I was coming down off morphine. The baby was beautiful, but like when her face settled. And so we have this photo of both of us. It looks like we've both just come out of an amniotic sac. And then my friend was like, "Harriet, I didn't see a photo on Instagram of the birth." And I was like, "Yeah, we're really private people, actually. Keep that between us, thank you." Okay. So we had to name the baby, traditional. We decided to call her Mabel, little baby Mabel. It just felt a very comforting, familiar name, like we'd always known it. And it turns out Mabel is a very popular name in our area for dogs. Absolutely loads of Mabels everywhere. I'm like, "Mabel," and then loads. It's the peanut butter. It's different. Let's not go into it here. Okay. So Mabel was born one day late, one day after her due date, and my husband, he was actually 3 months premature, which is very premature, and that means that the baby is actually more developed than him. It's amazing. She's going to be raising him soon, you know. I am actually glad that he was premature. You're not meant to say that, but I am, because I don't think I could have got him if he was fully cooked. You know what I mean? Like, he'd have full lung capacity. You know, like, he'd be able to run. Too good for me, thank you, too good. People have asked me like what I thought the birth was like. I thought it was a bit like anal. You know, like, you're worried it might hurt, you're worried that you might poop yourself, but it's all just worth it for that little look on your partner's face. So it suddenly all made sense. I was handed the baby and I was like, oh my God, I get it, finally. My whole job in life is just to keep this little precious baby safe. Then I was like, what the fuck? I've been trusted with a baby. I'm not a trustworthy person. I was once walking down the street and I fell down a 10-foot hole. I can't be trusted with a baby, this is chaos. And so then we had to take the baby home, like you have to. They insist. And the problem is we didn't have a car seat and they insist they see a car seat before you can take the baby in the car. We never got a car seat, so the baby is still there. But she's in the best place, you know. So I had the baby at the end of 2021 and it was a weird time. There was a lot of disease around, a lot of COVID, and I was really worried that this precious little baby was going to get sick with her little immune system. And I took her back to Kent for Christmas when she was only a few days old. And my mum, I think she was trying to be helpful, but what she said was, Harriet, don't worry about it, okay? The baby came out of your vagina, so she would have picked up a lot of bacteria from there. I think she meant it nicely, but it felt pointed, you know? Because I've had chlamydia and she knows that. Do we have any other survivors in? You fucking liars, 1 in 3! At least 5 on this row, that's what I think. Just saying, I can smell it. I've never said that, but no, I said that. I don't know. I found getting diagnosed with chlamydia, I found it's a bit like Secret Santa. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just at the office, just looking around, just thinking, who gave me this? Who didn't wrap their present? And then you have to go to the clinic, and they're like, oh, so if you can tell your previous sexual partners. And if you're anything like me, you're like, no, thank you. And they're like, don't worry, we can do it for you if you give us their numbers. And I'm like, well, joke's on you, some of them don't have phones, so good luck with that, okay? They're like, don't worry, we do it in the kindest possible way, and it's completely anonymous. I was like, what does that mean? Well, you send them a Christmas card, and you're like, happy holidays, P.S. you are riddled. I try and talk about chlamydia to get rid of the stigma and the shame, and then I did the show in Wales, and it turns out some people could do with more shame. Because I said, do we have any chlamydia survivors in? And this woman in the audience went, woo! And I was like, oh, cool, how long have you been clean for? And she went, still got it! And I was like, oh, how long have you had it for? And she went, 3 years! And I was like, you know you can get antibiotics, like you can get it cleaned up. And she went, you can't drink on antibiotics! That woman was me. I do think there's such different standards, isn't there, with sexual dynamics. It feels like men, you guys, you're meant to be proud of the amount of people you've slept with and like boast about it. And us ladies, like women, be ashamed, you know, like hide our number. But I'm proud of the amount of people I've slept with. Yeah, I've even got a nickname for them. Yeah, call them the Hateful Eight. T. 7. And some people might call me a slut, right? That's what they do, don't they? But I'm not. I don't know how to say goodbye. It's hard, isn't it? It's confusing. You're like, handshake, hand job. I don't know. Just trying to get on with my day. I think we should mate like sloths. That's what I think. I don't know if you know how sloths mate, but apparently how they mate is the female sloth will get horny, and then she'll scream, and all the male sloths will come running, but like slowly. And the winner has sex with her, you know. I think that's fun. You don't have to get to know anyone. You can be at home, having a nice evening, watching Selling Sunset, feel a bit horny. Ah! You know, load of sloths, lovely. Lovely, very exciting. I don't know. I think it's difficult. It's scary out there now. There's a war on women. We've got incels. They say these terrible things about women. I read this article where they described women as whores riding on a cock carousel. It's like a cock carousel. Can someone invent that, please? Doesn't that sound great? Imagine the Hindus on that. I love that. Fucking idiots, they're inventing things for us. What is happening? So it's difficult to feel confident, especially as a young girl, and we've got so many messages coming at us. I would always try and be confident, and it would never work. I once went to this interview with the BBC, and I was like, right, I'm going to appear really confident and really comfortable. And so I sat down and I said, the thing about me is that I am just very comfortable. And then there was a pause as they realised I tried to say that I was very confident and comfortable, but what I'd actually said was both, and thereby proved that I was neither of those things. But you know who is, I think, the most confident people out there? Sexual predators. Harvey Weinstein, he is so cocky. I have never known anyone more confident than Harvey Weinstein. I think what we should do is get sexual predators to teach self-esteem to young girls. That's what I think, but from behind thick glass walls. Let's keep them safe, okay. I had to go back to work quite quickly after having my daughter, and it was a weird time, you know, because I needed to make money, you know, because I'm freelance, but also I wanted her to feel proud of her mother and see her do a job and talk on stages around the country about her chlamydia. That's very important to me, actually. So we had to start using babysitters, and I found this app, right? I recommend it. It's called Bubble. But my mum's been telling everyone that I've been getting babysitters off Bumble. Like as if I'm just luring them over, you know, and then I hand them a baby. And they're like, fuck, my dick pic was powerful. And the second babysitter we ever got, like, she was very sweet, but her English wasn't great, and I was still so nervous leaving my little baby, and I left to go to work, and I was just crying, and I was so worried, and I was like, I know, I'll just message and check in and just see how she's doing, and that will make me feel better. I'll just say, like, is she sleeping, and that will reassure me. So I messaged and said, is she sleeping? And she replied, and I think she meant to say yes, but her English wasn't great. So what she wrote was, her eyes shut, she don't move. She followed it up, the most terrifying message I've ever received. She angel now. The little angel emoji. It's like she's a fucking baby killer and I'm paying her £12 an hour to do it. What is happening? I left to go on my first girls' trip without my daughter, and I felt so guilty, I felt so bad, and I got in the car and I was like crying. Then I was like, Harriet, pull yourself together, you know, people leave babies to go to war and you're going on a hen do, so I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Good for you, actually, good for you. And then I was driving with her in the back for the first time, and they say that parenting comes easily. I don't know if that's true in my case. So I was driving with my daughter in the back, and she started crying. And I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do. I can't get to her because I'm driving. Then I was like, I know what a good mum to do. They'd sing a song. That's what I should do. I should sing a song. I'll sing The Wheels on the Bus. Then I was like, I don't fucking know the words to The Wheels on the Bus. So I was like, the finger bus is coming. Absolutely loved it. I loved it. She loves TV. Her favourite show is Euphoria. Absolutely loves it. I think it's just like the bright lights and the teen sex. So I'm trying to be a good role model, but it's difficult. I started volunteering in a food bank. I thought that would be a good thing to do. But the problem is you are just doing manual labour for free. I realised my favourite thing about volunteering, it is actually telling people that I volunteer. And then I realised I don't actually have to volunteer to tell people that I volunteer. So I quit. I want to be a good role model, but it's difficult. And it's scary what's out there, you know. Now we have Euphoria. When I was growing up, we had Dawson's Creek. There's been such a leap. What are these kids exposed to, you know? I don't want kids to think they have to grow up and the first time they have sex, they have to let someone come on their face. I want that to be something they can look forward to. It's good to have dreams. It's good to have dreams. My parents were very worried about me when I was younger. They're very protective. So they sent me to an all-girls school from the age of 3 till 18 because they were very worried I was going to get pregnant young. What can I say? I was a very slutty baby. They're like, watch out, this little slutty baby. So I went to an all-girls school and we did a lot of like home economics, you know. Like, don't know if you know home economics. It's like economics, but for girls. Yeah. So you learn how to bake a cake and cover a black eye. Very important things. I found all these things I'd had from when I was a teenager. And I was looking at them, just thinking back. One of the things I found was this pencil case I'd had at school, and it had Playboy Bunny all over it. I don't know if anyone's around the same age as me. I had loads of things with Playboy Bunny on. And a Playboy Bunny pencil case, you know. It's just so weird that Playboy went into education apparatus for children. Like, what a leap. Make men come, gel pens. I found my old Barbie. I don't think I want my daughter to have a Barbie. I don't think Barbie's a very good role model. Apparently if Barbie, with her dimensions, if she was made into a real woman, she wouldn't be able to keep her own head up. And I don't want my daughter's role model to be her mother on a night out. I want to aim higher than that. Thank you. I once saw this porn, right, of this woman putting a Barbie, a doll inside herself, right? It's quite intense. Yeah, but I think she actually had a very good feminist message. Do you know what I mean? She's like, I've had it up to here with Barbie. Fuck Barbie, literally. You're shaking your head, but I disagree. I disagree. Good role model, actually. Apparently Barbie was based on a sex doll, a German sex doll. Call me old-fashioned. I don't know if that's a good idea for a children's toy. And sex dolls, they're on the rise and they're getting more perfect and hairless and silent. And I don't know how I feel about sex dolls, but then someone asked me recently how I'd feel if my husband was to get a sex doll. And I don't think I'd like it, but it's not for those reasons I just said. It's because I've never seen him wipe down a kitchen surface. He should be trusted with a sex doll, you know. I found photos from when I was a teenager, and we'd always go out dressed as something sexy, you know. So we'd go out as like sexy schoolgirls, even though we were schoolgirls. We went out as like sexy police. I think eventually we ran out of things to go out as because I found a photo of us dressed as sexy clowns. If you're wondering how to recreate that, it's big feet, red nose, tits out. Sexy clowns. Okay. And when I was a teenager, we had our first girls' trip away. It was very exciting, and I was so excited. We went because my friend was trying to get over her boyfriend, and to be fair, he was hard to forget because his name was Garris, and he drove a Yaris. And once you hear that, it gets in, you know. I think you can tell a lot about someone by what they drive. Like my friend, she drives a Mini, and she's so cute. And every time she sees another Mini, they wave at each other. Like, it's so cute. And I drive a Nissan Micra, and every time I drive, someone yells, "Get off the road, you stupid bitch!" It's just a Nissan Micra thing. It's a fun thing to do. So we went to Newquay for our first trip away as teenagers, and it went to chaos. We lost our tent, we lost our money, so we ended up doing something we swore we would never speak about until this moment. We entered something called a Bikini Beach Babe competition. We had to dance on stage in a bikini in front of a jeering group of men, but you did get free drinks, and that seemed like a good trade for our self-esteem. And I came last, and the prize for last place was a vibrator. Because I think they were like, "You're going to need this, love." And I was telling my husband about it recently, and he was like, "Oh, it's a Sarah one." And I was like, "Can we not guess which of my friends won the Bikini Beach Babe competition, please?" But yes, Sarah won, obviously. The vibrator was exciting, you know, it was the first vibrator I'd ever had, but I was still living at home at that time, and I couldn't find any batteries for it. The only place I could find batteries was in the carbon monoxide detector. So I did have amazing orgasms, but some family members did slip in and out of consciousness. I got all my information growing up from magazines. That's where I learned everything, and I believed everything I read. One of the things they always said is that straight men are just more attracted to looks, and straight women are just more attracted to personalities. And this has been debunked, right? Apparently we've had to trick ourselves into being attracted to a specific sexy look because we sexualise women so much in society. So straight men have been tricked into being attracted to a specific look, whereas straight women have had to trick themselves into being attracted to personalities because what we see is just so upsetting. Burn, ha, got you all, okay, got you, okay. I think one of the reasons I didn't do very well in the competition is I was a very bad dancer, bad at moving, but also I was very hairy. When I started stand-up, I won this competition for being a woman in stand-up, and they gave you money, and I really needed that money at the time. I was hoping to go full-time doing comedy and could quit my day job. But I put that money towards laser-ass hair removal. So I guess it did work, as I'm here tonight. It's difficult being younger. I cared so much. I was always trying to be sexy and it never quite worked. I remember when I was at school, this boy came over and he was like, "Harriet, I think the perfect girl had your head." I was like, oh my God, like amazing. He said it like it was this massive compliment. He's like, yeah, I think the perfect girl would have your head and Sarah's body. And I was like, I don't think that's the compliment you think it is, right? Because I'm mainly body. Not a body. And I was like, well, I think the perfect boy would have Stephen's body, no head. That's what I think. Just a stump. Yeah, people could be quite mean. I had really bad eczema when I was younger and it covered my whole body. And people could be quite mean. There was this boy at school and he refused to play with me because he said that he might catch the eczema, and he told people, and it was a very lonely time. And then 15 years later, I slept with him. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Okay. And then I was lying in bed afterwards and I was like, okay, this is my moment, to like stand up for eczema sufferers everywhere. I should say something. So I was like, when you said that about the eczema, like it really hurt my feelings, but also it's not true. Eczema isn't contagious. You can't catch it. But chlamydia is, so you need to get checked out. Okay. Burn, literally. Okay. I don't think I always reacted to things right when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I saw a flasher. That's quite an intense thing, right? Someone's using their body to get a reaction from you. But I think because of my dyspraxia, I didn't see it that way. Because I just think that's such a fine line between flasher and someone that's just lost their trousers. Because I once went on this night out and I had this new skirt and it didn't really fit. And I got into dancing and I'm a bad dancer. I was in this busy club and it fell off and I lost it. And I had to get the night bus home in my pants. And because I'm a woman, no one called the police. Because there's no such thing as a female flasher, is there? She's just a fun girl.